You were tuned in to episode 80. Yes, episode 80 of the Goodfellas podcast. I'm G5 Jeff TV, aka G5, aka 5, aka the Guru. And I got my right hand with me, Boxing First Vlog, aka the General, aka Blunt Bayless, aka Mr. 1K in the building. What is going on, big bro?
Oh man, just in these boxing streets daily, keeping you active. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just here to talk this game with you. What's good? How you feeling?
Absolutely. Everything straight, everything straight. As tradition, before we get started, if there's anybody listening, put a one in the comment section. If you can hear myself and you can hear vlog clearly, put a one in the comment section. Once we get that, then we know everything good to go. I'm tripping. Let me change the logo. Bam. There we go. My bad. I had it under interview mode. Had to put the Goodfellas up there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
You
You,
know
ain't- you
what?
ain't you ain't got to interview your friends.
Absolutely.
And I
Conrad
interview.
in the building. He said, "What's up?" He put a one up there, man. He said, "We good to go." Conrad said, "We good to go." Then we good to go. So off top, Bob Arum cuts ties with MTK Global, Daniel Kinahan. So what I'm gonna do right now is I'm going to share my screen, and I'm actually going to show y'all I can actually read, and I'm going to read what this actually says. So give me just a second. Matter of fact, we're gonna wait for a couple more people to come in here, and then we're gonna read that. But I'm gonna show this. I'm gonna show this video for my main man right now. Uh, I know his hitting Jim didn't get the W on Saturday, but I got a surprise for my man, Boxing First Vlog. And he'll appreciate this one. So let me share this video real quick. Let me share this video really quick. Hold on. Let me fix it first.
Hey, our apologies for being late, man. I'm over here having some tech issues. I'm mad because I should have been getting it in. You know, I got to slide to the gig in a minute, but we're gonna chop it up.
Yeah, we're
And
gonna
we're gonna
chop
get
it
it
up
good for y'all.
yeah, we're gonna chop it up for a little bit for sure. So let me take the headphones out, share this real quick with my guy. Make sure my volume up.
But yeah, I was listening to Ashley's Corner for a minute while I had my internet working over here, and she was going in on the boy Ryan talking about he ain't calling people out after the fight. I was like, man, big shout out to Beloved, man. She do good work in these boxing streets. So I didn't get to listen to a whole lot, but she was in by herself. She said she usually don't do that. That's crazy, but you know, when you got something to get off your chest, you can usually,
Yeah,
do a
absolutely.
whole show by yourself.
Right, facts. So you see that? So but that's let me rewind it from the beginning. Hold on. Let me rewind it from the beginning. So that's Emmanuel Tagu going back to his home country. That's footage. Um, and I'm just gonna let that play and let that marinate for a second. You can see it, vlog.
Yeah, that's I mean that's respect. You feel me? It's respect right there. You know, we don't do that over here. You know what I'm saying?
No,
We'll come off a loss. Be lucky if your grandma meets you at the airport.
that's a fact. They gonna tell you to take an Uber home. But look at this. Look at this. Correct me if I'm wrong. They treating him like he won the fight, right?
Man, I ain't mad. He was in there fighting a junior middleweight. So for him to be able to accomplish what he did accomplish and finally get, you know, to that stage, yeah, that's a big shout out to where they come from, though. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? And as I spoke on, that's something he may have deserved a minute ago. So he should have got this shine a couple years back, even before, quote unquote, the Four Kings took the stage.
I'm gonna let it run one more time. But the reason why we're showing this is because over here, Vlog, Shane, myself, um, we it's beyond just what goes on in the boxing ring. All of these fighters have stories. All of these fighters have backgrounds. And when you look at this, to the people in the US, Taco was just another guy. In his home country, he's one of the few people that actually made it. So he's like a rock star where he's at because he's getting that type of a reception. After losing, this just goes to show that when a person makes it, when they come, it's so hard to make it in Ghana that when somebody does make it, they embrace it like they never had it before. So it kind of goes to show how good we actually have it, like in the States. We have it very good. You know what I mean? We have it very good. But I just wanted to show that.
Let's just say we will have. Let's just say we got it better. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
you know, we still too. You know what it is. We still wear a certain suit, so you know.
Yeah.
So we got a little better, you know, than our cousins.
Yeah. So I just wanted to show that just to give people a little bit of insight on just boxing is so much bigger than what's going on inside of the ring. Like guys are risking risking their lives and risking their livelihood. You know, when they going into training, they away from their families and all of that, and they're doing this to provide for their families. And it looks like the man Utagu is really providing for his country. You know what I'm saying? To get a welcome like that coming back, that says a lot. Unfortunately for guys in the US, I mean, look at Erickson Lubin. He's getting memes put up about him. You understand what I'm saying? So I wanted to show this just to show people it's bigger than boxing. You know what I'm saying? It's bigger than boxing, man. And as boxing pundits and and fans and hardcores, like it's okay for us to criticize some things, but it's also okay for us to salute, people that's doing things, man. So I just wanted to share that. I figured you ain't seen that yet, Vlog. But when I seen it like right before I set the live up, and I'm like, damn, Vlogger like this one. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
it was just good to see.
Big respect. You know what I'm saying? That's big respect.
Big respect.
Agreed.
Now, to move on, I'm gonna read this Bob Arum. So for the people that don't know, right? This is breaking news. So Bob Arum is cutting ties with Tyson Fury's manager, Daniel Kinahan of MTK Global. And basically, and quote unquote, it's alleged that Daniel Kinahan has mob ties, drug cartel, things like that. A whole documentary came out on him about 2 years ago, something like that. And it was a hot topic before, I think, Fury Wilder 2, I think. And what I want to do is actually read this article real quick, if you guys don't mind, on what's going on with this situation. So let me read this real quick.
Put that up for the folks.
I got you, bro. I got you. Can you see it? Can you see it, bro?
It's coming up. I'm behind slightly, man. It's coming up on my end. Just a
Okay,
little
I see it. I see
little
it.
lag with my signal. But yeah, it's up. Bob Arum.
Okay. Yeah, Bob Arum cuts ties with promoter sanctioned by U.S. over ties to organized crime. Others urged to follow. Um, let's see, Dublin. Some of the biggest figures in boxing have been urged to cut ties with a promoter who fronts an Irish organized crime gang targeted with sanctions by the American government on Tuesday. The U.S. ambassador to Ireland, Claire Cronin, said at a news conference in Dublin that the Department of the Treasury is offering a reward of $5 million for information that will lead to the financial destruction of the Kinahan crime gang or the arrest and conviction of its leaders. One of the heads of the gang, who was named as Daniel Kinahan, a founder of boxing management company MTK Global. Kinahan has been pictured with world heavyweight champion Tyson Fury and has attempted to organize fights for him, including a proposed all-British super fight against Anthony Joshua that never materialized. Last month, Kinahan was pictured at a boxing event in Dubai, where he is now based with WBC President Mauricio Suleiman. Speaking at the news conference in Dublin, Irish Police Commissioner Drew Harris said what was implicit before and what some individuals could choose to ignore is absolutely explicit. If you deal with the individuals who are sanctioned as part of the Kinahan organized crime gang, you are dealing with criminals engaged in drug trafficking. And indeed, as we have seen here very tragically in Ireland and also in Spain, murderous feuds who will resort to vicious actions up to and including murder. Asked specifically about Kinahan links to sports, the commissioner said, if you deal with these individuals who have been sanctioned or these entities who are being sanctioned, you are involved in a criminal network. I'd ask them to look to their own business at the property of their own business and a relationship with their fans, and really, is this something they want to be involved with in terms of their legitimate business? I think the answer to that is a resounding no. Fury, the WBC champion, is defending his title against Dillian White in an all-British fight in London on April 23rd. The Associated Press has asked the WBC for comment. Bob Arum, CEO of Top Rank Boxing, which co-promotes Fury, told ESPN, Mark Raimondi, that he is cutting business ties with Kinahan. I'm a law-abiding American citizen, and I will adhere to those sanctions and not have any business relationship or any other relationship with him, period. End of story. There's not even an argument there, Arum said. The U.S. government doesn't make an allegation like this unless there was evidence to back it up. So case closed. You cannot take the U.S. position and treat it lightly. It is very, very, very serious for the U.S. to say what they've said in a statement. The U.S. Treasury Office said the Kinahan crime gang, which operates in Ireland, is also established in Britain, Spain, and United Arab Emirates, and describes its operations as a significant transnational criminal organization. Harris said that Kinahan gang is worth more than 1 billion euros through its criminal enterprise. The High Court in Dublin has previously named Kinahan as a senior figure in organized crime involved in international drug trafficking operations and firearm offenses. Lawmakers have said Kinahan has rebranded himself in the Middle East as a boxing promoter. So that is the article. And first and foremost, I just wanted to prove I could read. That was number one. Secondly, that's it's heavy stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's heavy stuff. Just off top vlog, just hearing that and that coming out, like just give me your initial thoughts, bro.
I mean, people inside boxing have been exposed in the past, and people also can rebrand themselves to a certain extent. So unless you can prove he hands-on currently with any of the dirt, you see they still sniffing for evidence. They still got the hound dogs in the streets talking about $5 million, blah, blah, blah. So, I mean, he could be sitting back laughing at that, like, oh, that's cool. Y'all just actually giving me promotion. You know what I'm saying? Because some people like the bad guy, you know, and Americans are shifty like that because Americans do business. They just try to you know recontort it like a Rubik's cube and turn it around, but it's still legitimate business. But it's like, well, you know, it's a lot of shady things that go on like that. So, you know, I feel like Bob and them are the type of people will go through a third party promotion team and still do business with that guy. That's the type. Like Bob acting like he just so clean cut and whoop de whoop. Come on, my dude. You know what I mean? America ain't no moral place. Like, so just him trying to take that moral high ground, like he just been, you know, 50-50 with everybody he do business with. Just stop that, bro. So that's cap. That's like 1,000% cap. So, but just in general, the dude Kinahan, if you know, if he trying to reboot himself, shit, so be it. He over there with the Arabs and they ain't tripping. I'm sure they got some sort of, you know what I mean, no extradition sort of thing going on. That's why he landed over there. And then obviously they willing to invest to be as westernized as possible with entertainment, but not per se day-to-day life. You understand what I'm saying? So yeah, if they can bring the entertainment in, they got the money that then they can afford to do it. So they need a guy like Kinahan or you know, a guy like Arum and all these other big time promoters and whoever's running Pro Bellum currently, like these sort of people to do business with. They want entertainment in these big cities like that. So I ain't mad at Kinahan trying to reboot himself. So that's just because that article is an article don't mean everything in there is true directly to him or anybody he's currently doing business with or currently how he's doing business. I don't know if he's shifty in these boxing streets, but you know, boxing just been that way for a minute. So I guess it'd be a perfect landing spot for a guy like that. So I mean, you know, I ain't got to rock with him. So you know what I mean. I don't really have a personal opinion about it. That's just an observation what I just gave you. So that's not per se personal.
Yeah, by just hearing that, he's let me give more of an overview. Boxing has always been tied in with organized crime since the beginning of time. Is that correct, Blog?
Since I can remember, since
Yeah.
the Don King days and the early fights with the Jack Johnsons and all of them, they had a lot of side party shiftiness and things like that going on at these events.
Yeah.
So
It's something that as boxing fans, unfortunately the sport, organized crime, criminal activity, um, it just comes with the territory. And there's people in the United States that have that same type of reputation and they walk around in the streets like regular citizens. And I'm not going to mention any names, but if you tapped in with with boxing and the boxing streets, then you know what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? And you know who I'm talking about. When it comes down to it, just once the U.S. started putting down sanctions, so that's the government. So once they found out he was implicated, then yeah, you got to cut ties with him. But they knew what was going on prior to that. The U.S. is basically just holding everybody else responsible, like pretty much like, yo, you can go down for this too. And it's really a question of like, are you going to go down with them or are you going to jump ship? And I would say probably 60 to 70% of the industry is going to have to jump ship. So what does this mean
can
for a
you
person like Terrence Crawford? He's tied in with
can I
MTK. Yes, sir.
can I let what if it I'm no conspiracy theorist, but let me put my tinfoil kufi on for a minute. What
Okay.
if the United States is trying to quote unquote, I ain't gonna say blackball, I'll say white ball this dude. You know what I mean? Because my balls is godly. But anyway, let's say they trying to white ball this dude to where as though they can slip a Bob Aramis type of guy into that market to try to do business with those princes and those sort of guys that run, the society over there, because that's a big lick as far as from what we are knowing just from boxing. So say you can get an NFL football game over there. Like, come on now, you see what I'm saying? Do you know how business goes? Could that be a possibility? Look, like we start shading him and we start supporting that international investigation more, we can get our guy over there if we get him out of there, or at least off of the scene of being the middleman to those people. You feel what I'm saying? The people being the elite that control society over there. That's what I mean. Like, he's probably the current middleman, and nothing really goes down from an international scene over there without going through him. So he's receiving a bag, commission, however you want to, title it. But that's a possibility, and that's the tenfold Kufi. Could be.
I mean, just to respond to that, I know if I was on camera doing some of the things that are on camera with other people, I know where I would be right now. I wouldn't be doing episode 80 of the Goodfellas podcast. I know that much. You know what I'm saying? Vlog, same thing. Like, it's just rules don't apply. The same rules don't apply the same for everybody. And like I said, like, people are looking at this as is it breaking news? Yes, it's breaking news. But should you be surprised based on the landscape of boxing? No, you shouldn't be surprised at all. But Bob Arum is powerful because he has guys like that backing him. Eddie Hearn, same thing. Even Al Heyman, same thing. Like, you don't become that powerful unless you have a machine behind you that people fear. That's just the American way. You can go back to old movies and everything else. Like, even people that's feared in the streets, they're feared in the streets because of what can happen to you. You know what I'm saying? So this is just another example of that. Period. Just another example of it. You know what I'm saying? Kinahan been moving away, allegedly been moving away. He been moving for the longest. Like, ain't no surprise. They came out with a whole documentary on regular TV out there about it, like a whole hour's worth.
We got our own we got our own sort of untouchable legendary guys here that quote unquote. Look, I'll throw a name out there for the folks. Meyer Lansky never did pen time, and I've heard him say his people's and his legacy is worth $1 billion. I don't remember. I don't know when he died, but currently, last I heard about him and what's going on with that line, that they worth $1 billion based on what he was able to do in these streets, so to speak. So, big ups to Kinahan if he trying to transition. Maybe it's too late for the quote unquote powers to be to try to put their foot down, because that's like I spoke on you. They still sifting for evidence. If you putting a $5 million banger out there to get a phone call and get a dime drop, that's a costly dime. You know what I mean? So obviously he's sitting in the seat where he looking down like, yo, you know what I mean? I ain't tripping. I see what's going on down there. Like, so y'all trying to get up here to me. And that move to being over there, again, like I said, that's places that don't have like extradition treaties, top-notch security. So ain't nobody just coming in and out to just be able to get to that guy like that. You know what I'm saying? So, big ups to him, man. Like I said, he's famous, like the all-time famous gangsters and whatnot. You know what I mean? On the Soprano side of the game, so to speak. So you can't be mad at him for trying to transition. Yeah, he made it work up to this point.
Yeah, I mean, and it's the when you in that line of business, we've seen plenty of people that take quote unquote illegal money and transition into something legal. And we really look, I mean, us growing up, we listen to, you know, I mean, it's so many big things that's kind of funded and operated by guys allegedly like Kinahan. Like you take rap labels, rap labels, we've had athletes tied into, gangs and things like that. It's just it's kind of like the negative side of culture, but I'm like, regular guys like you and I, we'll never have Bob Arum type power because I like we don't run that deep in terms of what we got behind us. And like I said, you don't just wake up in the morning and have power for no reason. It's because what you have behind you, and this is just a prime example of that. You can even look at MTK Global's setup, and MTK Global is big because of him. He's the muscle behind it, and I mean they went and signed so many people like across the board. So they really tried to make the transition. They really tried to make the transition. I mean, Terrence Crawford is with them, Tyson Fury is with them, Carl Frampton is with them. They were doing management services for Carl Frampton for free. So I honestly think they was trying to do everything humanly possible to try to transition over. But it's just if what is alleged is like facts, like in my world, somebody should have been locked up already. You understand what I'm saying? In my world, somebody should have been locked up already. But guys like Kinahan and that type of conglomerate, they don't move under the same rules. They don't walk around in the same shoes we do. It's just it is what it is. So I just look at it. I'm like, I think boxing will be okay going forward.
Yeah,
It always
yeah,
bounce back.
yeah. Oh yeah. It'll be a
You know what I'm
it'll
saying?
be a new Bob before you know it. It'll be a new Kinahan before you know it.
Absolutely, absolutely. And it's just I just want people to realize that when it comes down to it, once the government gets involved, people going to start cutting bait and all of that. And it's no different than you know what I'm saying? Like we got rappers, you know what I'm saying? Rappers will be running around and they part of, street gangs and all this and all that. And once the street gang goes down, you know what I'm saying? Like then the rapper, you remember what was that, Detroit? Uh Rappers used to come to the city and Trick and his whole crew used to shake them all down. I mean, you gotta cut him a fee. You gotta cut him a fee, or he gonna bring 100 people to your concert and shut your concert down. Like it's stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like so, we've seen this. We from the hood. Like we've seen this all day long. This is just on a grand scale. Like Kinahan is hanging out with the people. Who was that? Fast and Furious 8 when they was in Dubai. You know what I'm saying? Running around and all that. That's who he is with. This
Yeah,
is different. You know what I mean? This
yeah,
is different. But
yeah.
I felt like this was
He
something
got a
that
real military behind him now.
that's a fact. He got a whole military
Yeah,
behind him, and it's almost like Bin Laden type status from back in the day. It was like you hear
yeah.
about him. It was a myth. It was almost like a myth. You know what I mean?
I mean,
Like
they on his helmet. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna wish him no luck, but I ain't, I ain't gonna say I hope. At the same time, I hope they don't get it done. That's they business. All I can say is what he's done so far in boxing as being a representative of at least Tyson Fury to, being one of his bigger guys that they've been able to push out there and help promote that MTK Global. They did all right with him. That's a nice little trilogy. Him and Wilder got a bag out of it. You know what I mean? And he just found out the fans found out that he was just Wilder's nemesis. And a lot of boxers have a nemesis, and sometimes
yeah.
it is what it is. You know what I mean?
I feel like everybody has a nemesis and everybody has a kryptonite. You know what I'm saying? And it may not come in the same form. It may not be the same person. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it's just I'm like our vlog couldn't have said it better, man. It's gonna be another Bob Arum at some point. It's gonna be another Eddie Hearn. It's gonna be another Daniel Kinahan. It's gonna be another MTK Global. I guess that just to kind of wrap this topic up, um, this is an example of like when people had questions about Fury during the whole Wilder thing and just the legitimacy in which he moves. You got to pay attention to the people that's behind you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like the people that's behind you, in a sense, is a representation of you. You know what I mean? So if I like, I'm G5 Jeff TV, and that's Boxing First Vlog. We both got media companies that we present to the people on a regular basis. If we both got drug cartels behind us, I can't get mad if you start asking me about drugs. Vlog can't get mad if you start asking him about drugs. Like your whole backing is a drug cartel. Like you understand what I'm saying? So I'm like, that's why Tyson Fury was getting a lot of the questions and the smoke that he was getting because of this very thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I don't want people to look at it like it was this pure hate towards, you know, Fury, but it's just when the shadiness going on, like we in a world where nothing's a secret. Nothing's a secret. Everything gets highlighted. You know what I'm saying? So
Facts.
it is what it is, man. But what time you gotta get up out of here, bro?
Oh man, we good for another at least another 20 or so. What you trying to
Oh, that's
chime in
perfect.
on
That's
this
perfect.
weekend coming up?
That's
What you
yo,
want to
this
talk
listen,
about, baby?
listen, let's get into matter of fact, I actually wanted to get into Lubin and Fundora, the fact that according to Sebastian Fundora, he was on the Boxing Voice podcast. Big shout out to the Boxing Voice, Nesta Gibbs, that whole crew. He basically said it was no testing. He said it was no testing at all. And I kind of touched on this yesterday, and I asked Shane, but I didn't get a chance to ask you. Um, Knowing the fact that there was no testing for this fight, it was a I think it was a WBC title eliminator. There was no testing for this fight, and you see Lubin's face the way that you've seen it. Does that trigger any thoughts, or is that just boxing for you?
That may be a line to the people that you're associated with, or the match is going on. We don't hear things like that from Lubin, and with the Fundors and them kind of being the new up and coming boxing family on the scene currently, and his camp starting to expand a little bit. I don't think he wants to muddy the waters before he can really get solidified, either with making his son a champ or possibly getting one of his new signees an opportunity. So I think it wasn't that fight. If you really look at why his face was swelled up like that, that's what happens if you keep getting hit in a broken nose. The swelling is going to go where it can go. So
It spreads out.
Probably
it
what.
spreads out.
Yes, just going where it can go. It can't go in the nose. Your nose, but ain't so big. So it's going towards your head and those open areas in between where the water is in your brain and things like that, where you have that gap in between our brains and our actual skull. So it's kind of going in those areas. And that was a thing why you want to stop it too, because you don't want that swelling to turn into water on the brain and too much pressure on this brain. So it was a good thing that they stopped the fight, though. I mean, I don't know if I even would have let it got that far, because as you've seen, the end swell wasn't working. So maybe, even though he was up on the cards or something, probably a round or two back could have been an actual possibility of a stoppage too.
Yeah, and people, I want to, and that's a great point, vlog, and I actually want to highlight this as well. Um, People get hit with crushing shots all the time in boxing, but it's funny how the body works because a lot of times a headbutt will cause a hematoma. You know what I'm saying? So for people, for some of the famous hematomas is Keith Thurman had one in one of his fights, and a hematoma is basically just a knot. It's a knot somewhere in your on your head from basically a clash. The most famous one is Hussein Rockmine for sure. The nugget that he had on his head was just, I mean, it was crazy. So we've seen worse in the sport of boxing. You know what I'm saying? Hold on a second, bro. Yeah, so you know what I mean? Like it's just we've seen worse than Lubin's face. You know what I'm saying? As boxing fans, we've seen a lot worse. So I didn't think of anything in regards to like no testing and things like that. I to be honest with you, people were saying like did Fundora have loaded hand wraps? Like you seen all types of stuff, and I'm like he just don't look like the type of guy that's playing them type games, and I don't think Kevin Cunningham is one of the best trainers in the business, man. I don't think he I think after that Fury situation, like I think every big trainer is going in there and they making sure everything is square business. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. They trying to get these gloves X-rayed. You feel me? So yeah, I think the intelligence side of the training camps are definitely looking out for these sort of things since Glove Gate. So I agree with that too. And again, Cunningham is one of the more smarter guys, strategist wise in the ring and things like that. So I don't think he would have sent Lubin out there into no trap. And again, you don't really get that sense from the Fundora clan. You see what I'm saying? You got the daughter involved. The pops is an older guy, probably from a different far as moral stage in life. You know, them old school guys are real, by the book sort of guys. So you don't always have that. Not that they didn't have those sort of cheats in his generation either, but it's just more or less it wasn't as many back in his day. So I doubt if he's bringing that to the current stage of boxing to mess up these opportunities for his son, because they double back and they do test. What if they wanted to wait till after the fight? He can still get popped. So why do that? You know what I'm saying? So I don't get that sense from them. Not that I know them personally, but listening to the family talk, you know what I mean? Seeing how they interact with the media and things like that. I know everybody can put on a persona, but we as seasoned individuals can also read people too. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm just throwing my 1-2 on what I get a sense for. Not to say that they didn't cheat. I don't know that, but I don't get that sense that even Lubin thinks that, because he hasn't been on making posts, you know what I mean? As far as like, yo, I question the results. His gloves felt funny. You didn't get any of that. And you should get that from Lubin, not from, pundits just trying to make something up, so to speak.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't, I'll be honest, I didn't really read too much into it. I mean, anybody that's in these boxing streets, it's been rumors flying around for the longest about PBC and not really having any drug testing going on in regards to like VADA and for the really really big fights you see it, but like some of these secondary fights, that's what the rumor has been. So obviously, that's the PBC to clear up. Going forward, we all want to see our fighters clean. So the onus is on them. But this is why we always say like the sport got to be regulated. It has to be government regulated, because I'm like, when you have situations like this, where guys is, blatantly cheating and putting people's life at risk. It's like basically you can put somebody's life at risk and only get 6 months. Like, you know what I mean? Like when you really think about it, it's crazy.
I mean, is there anything contractually with these promotions that they're subject to randomly testing these boxers that represent their platforms?
No.
And have no. I mean, me personally, you got to think of it. If you're dealing with a category where people's lives are at jeopardy, the insurance for these events got to be crazy. So if somebody did get hurt, you had to double back and do some investigation. And now you talking DNA and all of this CSI sort of thing. This can be costly to not just the sport, but for most that platform, that promotion. So I think if they're not doing it or making it such a big deal, it's just kind of common knowledge, like, yo, we don't rock with dudes that don't have a sense of a moral base. Not that you can't catch these guys here and there. You see what I'm saying? So I don't know. I just hope for the best with these dudes getting punched in the face like that. You see what I'm saying? Because you can already have your Ryan Garcia, Tegu style Jones where there's such these mismatches. So shit, goddamn, he can get hurt just on the natural side of the sport, let alone if Garcia came in there juiced. You know what I mean? Come on now. Or even if Tegu came in there juiced. And you like, damn, how this little dude collapse Ryan Garcia big ass? Like, you know what I mean? There'd be very questionable outcomes. So I think just in general, you do gotta kind of, I wouldn't say roll the dice, but you gotta kind of give these fighters and they promoters, and I mean not promoters, but their managers, trainers, and these sort of people the benefit of the doubt that they ain't, coming in there with the black bottles and the green Gatorades too often. Because I ain't forgot about that Charlo joint either. But still, in general, I ain't throwing no cap out there, but that's, I remember that too, just like I remember prior to them. So just saying.
He said the black bottles and the green Gatorades and all that. That's a fact though. But it's situations like that that gets brought up, and it gives you cause to pause. You know what I'm saying?
That's why I said I wanted to look at this Fundor Lubin situation from more of the benefit of the doubt side of analyzing it. That was my breakdown. I don't want to go too long with it.
Nah, you straight. I mean, but that's what I'm saying. Like, it's just people pick and choose when they want to complain about drug testing and all that. And I'm like, for me, it's either you all the way in or you all the way out. I'm like, you can't be pissed off at the Jean Pascals and the the big baby Millers of the world that's like just blatantly just breaking the law in terms of just being clean as a fighter, and then at the same time you saying something else on the back end because it might be your favorite fighter. You know what I mean? Like, people will get pissed off about Canelo, right? People are getting pissed off if you bring up Canelo and his past positive drug test, but they'll dump on Big Baby Miller like nobody's business. And
oh man,
and of course
if he get a license, oh yeah, it's gonna be flat.
And the thing is, I'm like, he's back. He's back.
Has he got licensed though?
It's a big difference. I'm not sure of. Like, so
being allowed back in the gyms is a big difference from saying, "Look, we gonna let you lace them up." At some point they gotta let the big man go in there and try to cut that fat bat off before he eat himself to death somewhere. You know what I'm saying? So I think I know that's part of the ban. You can't be training, you can't be around none of these gyms like that. I'm sure that is.
Yeah. Well, he's with Kevin Cunningham right now. So what y'all thought?
That's what I'm saying.
Combo. Yeah, I thought that was an interesting combo. It is crazy because people want to talk to Kevin Cunningham about a lot of different things. I was like, that's kind of the main thing I would want to talk to him about. It's like, what's you to Big Baby Miller? Like, what? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't have thought of that combination.
I'm gonna throw this out there real quick. I'm starting to associate Kevin Cunningham with the A+ coach that seems to be associated with these C+, B- sort of guys, because I forgot the fill-in dude for the Joe Smith Jr. fight, and he was out there talking about hashtag belt season or something, and I'm like, who the fuck is dude, bro? And why do you think he has a chance against a true reigning world champion on the last minute, John? I know that's your guy. You probably been helping him with the pads in the gym, but I'm sure you can't believe like he gonna come in here and really take this title like that. I know you gotta believe though. But I ran, and now that you say he's working with Big Baby Miller, I'm like, well, damn, is he just he's a working trainer and he might have a diamond here or there, but just in general, he just has a full Rolodex of clients. Like, I don't know. I find that interesting that he's associated with this level guys.
Yeah, the thing about these trainers is like, in the boxing world, like, usually trainers are defined by one fighter or two fighters, like the famous trainers, like you mentioned a name, it's a fighter that they're instantly connected to. And the thing outside of that is that a lot of times these trainers have so many people that they work with on a daily basis, but the cameras is not really on them. And we can vlog and I can speak on that because that's Philly. You know what I'm saying? You take Boots dad, Bozy Ennis, he works with a lot of people, but you're not gonna hear his name in any trainer of the year talk. Coach Rel, same thing. Coach Anthony, same thing. There's a lot of trainers, especially like take Tank's trainer, Calvin Ford. He works with a lot of people, a lot of professional fighters, amateurs, kids, but you won't see his name in trainer of the year talks. So and it just goes to what Vlog said. Like I'm pretty sure Kevin Cunningham works with a whole variety of guys, and even going back to that, you said like being like associated with like B-level guys. Like I would say probably the person he's known for probably the most is probably, I know the first time I seen him was with Devin Alexander. That's the first time I actually got to know
another prime example.
A B fighter. Like when Kevin when
didn't he work with Bondage too? I thought he worked with Bondage.
I think he did work with K9.
I thought he worked with Bondage too. Yeah, another guy that got a title opportunity and won it, but
he lost it in his first fight. They put him up against Charlo.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like an overachiever. Like he's kind of, to me, in my estimation, related to those guys, and sometimes it happens for him.
Yeah, and that's a fair assessment because you take that where Kevin Cunningham overachieves with guys, and then you take like a Mayweather Senior. Like, of course, his son is his crown jewel, but I'm like really outside of him. I'm like, who is he built from the ground up? You know what I mean? You could take Virgil Hunter. Of course, you're thinking Andre Ward. Outside of Andre Ward, who has he built from the ground up? So these are the discussions that we have about trainers and things like that. And it's like, how do you really evaluate their worth? You know what I'm saying? Outside of the big picture, you feel what I'm saying?
I mean, it can happen if you go on that Mike Tyson-esque run. So, because you look at Customato, who do we know Customato outside of Mike Tyson?
Correct.
And obviously guiding Teddy Atlas to where he ended up being, as far as known as a famous trainer or whatever. So, I think it can happen for these guys that have like the Calvin Fords that have that tank. It's just that run that you can go on where history will say, yo, this is one of the great trainers of all time. So I think for those sort of guys, we just wait for that time. Time will give us that answer to the question. Yeah, but for these guys that load themselves up with fighters, and then, you know what I mean? You're not really concentrating on that guy's career, but then he gets an opportunity and it's all, you know what I mean? Like how well tuned are you guys as a team? You see what I'm saying? So it's the opportunity being fully taken advantage of because you have such a slate of clients. I don't know. It's a tricky situation.
No, it's definitely a tricky situation, and I think that's one of the hardest things to actually evaluate. Trainer, you know what I'm saying? Because you can go in and do a great job training a guy, but if your dude got a glass chin, you got a glass chin. You know what I mean? Like,
or if your trainer has so much going on, like, you know what I mean? Okay, I'm in the gym. It's my time, but he's kind of being pulled here, or the next day oh man, I'll be right back. It's things happen. We all have regular lives. So if your plate is full as a trainer, again, that's why I said it's a tricky situation. It could be one way or the other. Like Jeff said, that you could be training a guy that got a bum knee and he ain't never told you he had a bum knee. He 4 fights in and it's all over. You see what I'm saying? So it's a tricky situation with the trainer boxer scenario. But again, the guy Cunningham, I associate him with, like I said, the B-level guys, and he stayed recognized through those guys because I think he helps them overachieve. You see what I'm saying? So that's
No, that's
just my take on Cunningham, though.
Nah, that's a fact, man. And before we get up out of here, I actually want to just get a quick question out there to you, and then we can kind of touch on this. We can segue tomorrow into Spence and Ugas. Couple days before the fight, has anything changed in your mind in terms of the chances you think Ugas has of winning this fight?
Well, that leads me into the numbers. So instead of just me leaning on my boxing IQ, I'm also starting to peek at numbers to give me a prediction side of some of these matches. And, sometimes the numbers can mislead you to bet on the underdog when he really don't have a chance. It's just a real good position for the odds makers to hype a guy up, you know what I mean, and get that public pull for him. So anyway, in this one, I still think it's about 25% opportunity, man. And again, it's only that one punch that could be the difference for him. But when I look at the reach, it's a punch that he really gonna have to lean into. And but Spence don't beat you to the punch either. Spence either punching or he's not. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't trade a lot. But when he did trade, it paid off for him against Porter. He got the knockdown.
Yeah.
That was not per se punch for punch, but right after Porter swung, he swung, and Porter was trying to swing again, and he ate one. So it was almost a trade scenario, punch for punch scenario. But with Ugas, he just got to be careful of that straight left. I mean, again, the straight right, southpaw killer, as we all know, and Ugas per se would be. I think he got a little better footwork, because I thought he tracked Porter down real well, and I seen him use his feet in a loss. I thought he lost the fight, but they gave him the victory. I forget the fighter name too, Spanish guy too. I had to check the records on that one, but just right now, I think he did show he can box. He showed he could box against Pacquiao. He was able to move, get out the way. He was able to track Pacquiao down too. So I think I'm gonna give him better footwork. So he might have the opportunity to get a straight right hand home here or there, but his power, man, he ain't got that power, bro. That's the main thing that says he can't win, because he's not known for really hurting people like that. And that means hurting them to get their respect.
Yeah,
because
I don't know.
In the fight at Pacquiao, right? Just now, I'm gonna let you go. In the fight with Pacquiao, look at Pacquiao and look at Spence. We talking damage.
Right.
You really want to play that game with a dude that's younger, stronger, and never really been questioned about juice, so all of this strength and all this power is all natural? I mean, your face might end up extra bad. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think I still give him 25% opportunity, because again, when you talk orthodox southpaw, that straight right hand can always be a difference in that sort of matchup. And he throws straight punches. So
the thing about that fight, before we close this thing out, is you hit the nail on the head. Can Ugas hit Spence with something to get his attention? If he can't hit him with anything to get his attention, then essentially this should be a typical Spence night. Jab, walk down, body shots, keeping this guy on the back foot, and trade on occasion, to kind of make his point. It's really on Ugas to really put something on Spence within the first 3 rounds. If he don't get Spence respect within the first 3 rounds, it's going to be a long night. It's going to be a long night, because he does good with southpaws, but Spence ain't your typical. He ain't your typical southpaw. You know what I'm saying?
Again, we're gonna talk. Yeah, we're gonna definitely dig into it a little bit more with you guys tomorrow.
Dig into it.
Hopefully, we can get on earlier, because I'm man. Hopefully, I ain't late. But anyway, I need to slide about this side though. But
go ahead.
Hopefully tomorrow we can get on early and dig in, man. Y'all know where I'm at. Twitter, First Vlog, the way you see it on the screen. Boxing First, the number one, STVLOG on Instagram, putting up posts, showing love to the boxing community. And, you know, hit me up, man. Give me a thumbs up. Give me a couple hearts on that Instagram. Follow me, man. Tap in. I'm always chiming
Absolutely.
in with some good info and, you know, some memes. I put up my Otago meme. Check me out on Twitter on that one.
Yeah, yeah. I'm all over the place, man. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, G5Jeff TV, website G5JeffTV.com. We had a late start today. We had some stuff going on, but we'll be back on regular time tomorrow. Unless something breaking news comes out, we're gonna be covering Errol Spence, Ugas, the card, Batayev, Stanionis, Brandon Lee, Ochoa, Zachary Ochoa. We gonna dig deep in the creeks starting tomorrow. So on behalf of Boxing First Vlog, aka the General, aka Blunt, aka Blunt Bayless, aka Mr. 1K, your boy G5 Jeff TV, aka G5, aka 5, aka the Guru. On behalf of the staff, we gonna see y'all regular game time tomorrow with episode 81 of the Goodfellas podcast. We out.